Hello everyone, my name is Jay. Happy Easter. um, Today what I have for you is something I had for you guys on Christmas. I think it was either Christmas or Christmas Eve. I did 3 Santa Claus sighting stories. Today I have 3 Easter stories. Well, not really Easter. They all involve bunnies. Just creepy bunnies, that's all. Since, I drew this myself, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. No, I'm kidding. The first one I have for you guys is the most famous one out of all of them. I remember I got 3. This might be a long video, so stay tuned. This one is called the Bunnyman Bridge. After the Civil War at Fairfax County, Virginia became more populated, and eventually an insane asylum was built there. No one wanted to live near the asylum because of the public outrage. The institution was shut down. The administration transferred the patients in 1904. The process was completed. During the transfer, some of the patients escaped and hid in the surrounding woods and forests. These individuals were lost, delusional, and dangerous. Most of them were found except Marcus Loster and Douglas Griffin. The local authorities found a trail they believed belonged to them, littered with half-eaten, mutilated bunnies. They trailed deep into the woods of a tunnel crossing a wide creek. There, they found Marcus hanging from the tunnel entrance. There was a note attached to his foot that said, "You'll never find me, no matter how hard you try." Signed, the Bunnyman. That tunnel has been called Bunnyman Bridge ever since. The legend says that if you walk all the way down to the tunnel at around midnight, the Bunnyman will grab you and hang you from the entrance of the bridge. Strange deaths and phenomena has been connected with that Bunnyman Bridge. There was a young man from Clifton, Virginia, who came upon the bridge while traveling. About 1 minute after, he killed his parents and dragged their bodies into the woods to hang from the bridge, and then killed himself. In 1943, 3 youths were found dead, hung from the bridge with their bodies slashed open. All the notes attached to their feet saying the same thing: "You'll never catch the Bunnyman." In 2001, after hearing the late 6 local students and a guide search the area, they found mutilated bunny parts during their search and left the forest after they heard noises and saw figures moving around in the woods. Mind you, that's number 1. Are we still recording? We're still good, okay. Next one I have for you. By the way, I think I've read the Bunnyman. I don't think it went quite like that. It was something like, I don't even know. Hey, woodpecker. Alright, this one's called Bunnies. I might not be able to finish this one. I don't know. Alright. In 1998, one of the most disturbing discoveries of the 20th century was made in a small town in the state of Alabama during that summer. A few residents of the city of Roebuck alerted the authorities to the presence of a decaying, rusty trailer located on the outskirts of the city. Just a few yards away from a small residential area, occasionally, faint screams and groans could be heard coming from the inside of the seemingly abandoned trailer during the late afternoon hours of the day, which most of the residents of the small neighborhood mistook for children playing, until one day, an elderly woman living alone in one of the homes grew paranoid about the distressing noises and called the police. When they arrived, authorities quickly began to search the small trailer. Upon first glance, it did indeed seem to be deserted. The only furnishings found inside were a slightly rusted metal folding chair, a stained flower-patterned couch that held the strong smell of mildew, and a surprisingly new-look patio table. To the police's squad befuddlement, there seemed to be nothing too suspicious inside of the trailer. The same did not go over the small space underneath it, however. Under a poorly done mound of dirt, a small briefcase was excavated from the bottom of the old trailer. Inside of it, the authorities discovered 14 VHS tapes with no labels or stickers whatsoever. The content of the tapes was pretty much all exactly the same, but they all had different people featuring in them. The tapes all started out in the same fashion: an immediate fade in from black that revealed a small child strapped into the same metal chair that was found in the trailer. The children all seemed to have the same terrified expression on their faces as the camera started to focus on them. Their eyes were all red and sunken in, and despite the black duct tape placed over their mouths. They could all be heard sobbing. A few seconds into the video, the child in question would suddenly look up and start crying even harder than before. The shadow of the cameraman was always seen in this portion of the videos. He seemed to be holding up a small animal of some sort. Judging by the shape of the shadow, its body would cast the small whimpers it made. It was most likely a rabbit or something similar. The cameraman held the animal above his head for a short portion of the time, before abruptly swinging into the air and then throwing it down onto the ground with such force, and it let out a horrible shriek. You could hear a few bones breaking and snapping as well. As you may imagine, this only made the child cry and scream. My bad. But the sound was muffled and barely audible. As the child was still screaming, the cameraman picked up the still breathing rabbit and played around with it, swinging its limp body back and forth, and bouncing it up and down. You could see a large amount of blood coming out from the middle of this. The cameraman would always ask, "What's wrong?" Name of child. "I thought you loved animals." The child did not respond at all. He or she merely sobbed quietly. The cameraman then took an obviously fraudulent, sad tone in his voice. "Aw, there. You can still play with the bunny after I'm done playing with it, okay?" Upon saying this, the man took out a large hunting knife and immediately dove it into the rabbit's stomach. The shrieks and squeaks of the terrified creature seemed to cause mixed reactions in the children. In a few of the videos, the children seemed to faint at this horrific sight. Others only just sat and tried to scream. In the worst case they saw, a small girl who seemed to be around the age of 6 apparently vomited, but since her mouth was taped closed, a bit of it came back out of her nostrils, which made her scream in agony. And she seemed to go limp as her eyes rolled back into her head. The video cut off prematurely in this case. For the children that stayed alive, the cameraman tossed his hunting knife into the floor beside him and then swung the dead rabbit above his head like a helicopter blade. Blood and innards went all over the inside of the trailer, and all over the terrified children, as they continued to cry even harder. The terrified little eyes focused on the left side of them suddenly, as the man said, "Look, name of child. It wants to say hello to you." Immediately after this was said, the video abruptly cut off. The ending of the videos were all exactly the same thing. A red tinted picture of a cross was shown in the background as the words, "Thanks for visiting, name of child," were displayed in white lettering at the top with "Jesus loves you" being displayed at the bottom. Ever since the case, the city of Robux has gained some level of infamy in the state of Alabama. Even though that case was first opened in 1992, no further evidence of any murders have ever been found in the area. None of the children were ever identified, and ever since then, the old rusty trailer has been torn down, and now the area serve as the location of children's playground. If you ever decide to visit there, I bet you'd be surprised the number of white rabbits that occupy the area. Strangely, they love playing with the kids that go there, and a few of them even try to follow them home. Well, that was really gross and disgusting, but, it's creepypastas, I guess. Not all are like, supposed to be like I don't think any of them are supposed to be hunky-dory and everything. Anyway, this one is called The Man in My Dreams. As I prepare to end my life, I am writing this post. I have something disturbing I feel I must share before I end it all. These past several nights I've not gotten even an ounce of sleep. I'm afraid I'll see him again. I use the word him very loosely after all. I'm not sure if this thing is even a human being. The first time I dreamt of him, I wasn't sure what to think of it. He was there, looking at me, and he was gone, simple as that. I woke up and shrugged it like it was nothing. But then, every other night, he appeared somewhere in my dream, only closer than the last time. It didn't matter what the subject of my dream was. He was always there, watching me. Every time I saw him, he got closer. And when I knew that was in my dream with me, like a friend or a relative goes missing or is killed in the dream. In real life, the same thing happens. I'm not sure if it's a coincidence anymore. One thing I failed to mention is that this man wears a bunny mask. It sounds pretty ridiculous, but he doesn't wear a bunny. But he doesn't wear a bunny suit, just a mask. But the space for his eyes is just completely dark. There aren't any eyes. Just nothing. I'm afraid to make direct eye contact. I feel like in these dreams, I have control over what I do, yet I can't seem to get away from them. Today, I woke up and I went to get the mail. And attached to my mailbox was a letter. Doesn't have any return addresses or postage stamps. It's just a letter that someone physically taped onto my mailbox. I opened it up and written on it upside down was the phrase, "Always watching you." Reading this made every hair on my body instantly stand up. I couldn't believe that my dream was suddenly becoming reality. I sent this thing to the police department and filed for a restraining order. Unfortunately, since there weren't any fingerprints or returning labels, I was shit out of luck. Not enough evidence, the police chief told me. I drove a long way home, just to sort of clear my head. I'm sure it was just a clever prank being pulled up by the asshole jocks from my high school. I mean, not the first time it's happened. When I pulled in the driveway, I noticed another note on my door. It had a link written on it. When I opened up my laptop, I went to that website. It was an archive file of pictures of my house. A picture of a man walking with the camera, with a peculiar shadow. A pic of the side of my house is broad daylight. But worst of all, a picture taken my living room window and me sitting on my laptop, just hours ago. There were about 15 of these disturbing pictures on this file. The last one nearly made my heart stop. It was a picture of a man wearing a bunny mask. Dun dun dun! So what'd you guys think? Was that awesome? It was amazing, right? I know. Happy Easter, you guys. I hope you guys have a good one. I'm going to have a delicious dinner tonight. Hopefully I'll be able to vlog it. Hopefully this will upload before then so I can vlog it. But I'll see you guys in the next video, if it's not tonight. Okay? And this is what I was reading. I was reading off my Xbox. There's a picture. Yeah. I have awesome art skills. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bunny over and out.